Good evening and welcome to another episode of Numismatic Notes with Benjamin. I am Benjamin and tonight I'm sharing with you a 50 mil Guaranis from the nation of Paraguay. I used Wikipedia, the Banknote book, Standard Catalog of World Banknotes to get more information on this particular note. And I hope that eventually I can express to you my excitement in even acquiring this note. It wasn't too hard to find once I actually started actively looking for it. But it is not a note that you would typically find over the counter at your average banknote and coin store here in the United States. Like I said, it is from Paraguay. It is of 50,000 Guaranis, and mine is actually from 2017. You see right there above my finger. This is a multiple colored note. The Standard Catalog of World Paper Money calls it a PIC 239, while the banknote book calls it a B 863. The measurement of this note is 157 by 67 millimeters, and the imprint is, the company that printed this note is Oberthur Technologies, and I'm not sure that they have an imprint. Let me double check that right quick. Yep, if they have an imprint, they hit it very well from me. So we might find it as we discover, looking around the note for some other things. So let's talk about the face of this note. The face of this note actually shows a lot of things relating to the guitar. When I first saw this note in the catalog, I thought it was interesting because the vignette seemed to show a man in front of a microphone. I thought it was a singer for years. Then I got the note and realized he's holding the head of a guitar. In fact, the guitar seems to be the theme of this banknote for very good reasons, as I'll share with you. Depicted in the middle of this note is the guitarist and composer Agustin Pio Barrios, who was also known as Mangore. And I may have put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. Let's see if I can say it again. Mangore. I apologize if I butchered the note. I don't profess to speak a Latin language. You see the man in a tuxedo holding a guitar. Now, I did some research on a guitar, and a guitar is typically a 6-string instrument, and technically a guitar is a type of chordophone. That was new to me. And the guitars that are depicted on this note are actually acoustic guitars. In addition to Barrios in the center, who was known as Mangore, he was also known as, my notes say he was also known as Nitsuga or Nitsugora. It's horrible. I mean, I can't even read my own handwriting, can you? But I'm going to go with Mangore, and we're going to discuss him by that name. He was born May 5th in the year 1885, and he died August 7th in 1944. He was considered a virtuoso and regarded as one of the greatest performers for guitar that there has ever been. He composed more than 300 songs, and it was his style to write lyrics and then create the guitar accompaniment. Sometimes he would perform in traditional Paraguayan dress using the pseudonym Nitsuga. Okay, that's where that came from, which is actually Augustine backwards. So Mangore, which is a name of a cacique or a chief of the Timba group. He was very proud of his ethnic heritage. His magnum opus is from 1921, and it was called La Catedral, and it was inspired by Johann Sebastian Bach. He toured the world playing extensively, but he never ever managed to reach the U.S. for performance. After a heart attack, he limited his touring and accepted the invitation of the president of El Salvador. Let's go ahead and look at the back of the note now. On the back, we see a complete central vignette of a guitar, and overwritten on the guitar is Mangore or Mangore. His movement to El Salvador happened in 1939, and it was a second heart attack that resulted in his death in 1944. He never ever taught during his career, and that seems like a shame. Only after moving to El Salvador did he even provide any guitar instruction at all. the 12 people he did provide instruction to were maestros in their own right, and they came to be called the 12 Mangorians. Many consider him to be the greatest musician of all times, not just guitarist. I recommend that you visit YouTube and listen to this man play. I particularly liked his La Catedral, which you can hear him playing in a music clip. And I went to YouTube and just typed in his name, and it came up. Now let's discuss some of the things that we find on this note. In this space right here, we see the watermark of Mangore, and we also see the electrotype of 50 mil. In this case, it's backwards because you would view it on the left side of the note, on the front side, and you can see the 50 mil electrotype is readable. Now let's discuss all the other security devices we have on this note. We have fancy serial numbers here, and we have regular serial numbers here. And the fancy serials are in red while the regular ones are in black. You have the signature of the governor, or apparently the gerente and the president right there. You have arms of the nation. You have a wide security thread there. And there doesn't seem to be on this note a security strip, or a thread. But this strip here has a star and a circle, which come from the arms of the Republic, with the words 50 mil demetallized. So there is that. And what I thought was fascinating, there is a good deal of microprinting on here that says Paraguay. But if you look at the registration device right here in this box, you can see that we have a solid head of a guitar, and we have a hollow soundbox rendering of a guitar, along with half a square that's colored in and half a square that isn't. When you turn this note over, you see that what is shaded and what is not have switched. Now the head of the guitar is not shaded, and the sound box is shaded. This is called a registration device, and when you hold it up to the light, let's see if we can't do that for you. When you hold it up to the light, the pictures become completely filled in, and the colors become completely filled in, and it's in register. And they do that because it is sometimes extremely hard for a counterfeiter to ever make sure that the alignment from the front and the back printings are as exact as a currency printer can make them. So there's that. And then one of the neatest things that I noticed, this is a recent note. I mean, it's within the last 3 years of issuance. A lot of the new notes have little, they'll have like a series of slash lines on one side or the other, and there might be 2 or 3 or 5 to help enable the visually impaired to see the note clearly, or even feel it, because it will be somewhat of a raised ink printing. Intaglio, I guess, is the word that I was forgetting. But if you take a look at this note, look at the little bars on the side of it. This also has the same little bars, but this is a guitar note, and the little bars on this note, to me, actually appear to be the frets of a guitar. So I may be completely off base. You're welcome to correct me if you wish, but there you go. And those bars are repeated on the back of the note as well. It may serve it doesn't seem to serve a registration device function, because it's the same design. I'm just pretty sure that the frets are there for decoration and to further emphasize the guitarness of this banknote. So I have to tell you, I was extremely impressed, and I know lots of you have commented on my thumbnails over the months. Some of you are horrified by them. Some of you think that the story of my grandfather who built instruments is interesting enough. But one reason I have my nails is because my grandfather, who built musical instruments, used to play and used his thumbnail as a pick. Now, he built a lot more dulcimers, and he built some fiddles and some things of that nature, but I enjoy using my thumbnail when I'm strumming my dulcimer. So there you go. Let's finish this video by looking up again at the vignette of Mangore. This is one of only two guitar-y notes that I can think of. The other note may not even be a true guitar, but it is a variation of a guitar being played on the Tahiti and French Polynesian banknotes by the young lady. And then, of course, there are some stringed instruments from Burma and from the Central Asian stands, Tajiki, Kyrgyz, Kazakh. Some of those stands have a stringed instrument as well that might fall into the family of guitars. But this note is one of my favorite guitar-y notes, and I'm pleased to have learned a little bit more and to have been able to hear the musician of this great man. You can also hear the music of this great man played by this great man. I hope that you will go onto YouTube and explore a little bit more in the life of Agustin Pio Barrios, also known as Mangore. If you have enjoyed this video, please click like, please share it, and make comments. Please correct me. I don't pretend to know everything about the notes that I present, but I do crave knowing more than I knew going into something. If you have any other suggestions of interesting notes like this, please advise me in a post. I've put a few more notes into my research pipeline based on suggestions that you guys have made for me. I am Benjamin, and I am excited to make these videos for you. This is number 80. We keep making progress. Thank you so much. Have a jewel of a day.